channel, DE-Fan 38, coming at you here with the points from August 19th from the last race that they ran. So that'll be cool to talk about, and then some other things to discuss as well, but this will be pretty sweet. But Jacob Gady, your point leader so far coming in here tonight, 872 points. I'm going to be at Elko tonight, so you'll see where he finishes and how well he does tonight. So that'll be pretty sweet. And second, it's been back and forth between these two guys. Jake Ryan in the 19 car from Farmington in second. And third is the 52 at Chad Wallen. Fourth is the 8 at Billy Moan. Top 5, 3-car Cruiser Chris Merrick. The 6 is the 6 car. That's all I'm going to say about that, and you'll understand why coming up. So, yep. And then in 7th is the 31 of Racing Ryan Gardner. And 8th is the 50 Steve Anderson Jr. 9th is the 7 of Jackson Lewis. 10th is the 94 of Hunter Cowell Payne. 11th is the 32 of Jeremy Wolf. And 12th, Tommy Peterson, the 99 car, looking good this year. Not bad for them. And 13th is the 47 of Austin Jar. 13th for the 47 of Austin Jar. 14th is the 18 of Michael Ostick. 15th, the 41 of Donnie the Rocket Reavers. I just texted him on Facebook Messenger, asked him if he's going to be there tonight. He will not. So he's going to lose some points tonight, unfortunately. But he'll be back for sure on September 23rd for Thunderstruck 93 for the ASA Midwest Tour event for Dan Ryan's Memorial event. Great to see that. 16th is the 53 of Jared Duda. 17th is the 20 of Alex Broseth in that 20 car. 18th is the J3 of Jerry Zimmerke in the J3 car. 19th is the 10 of Dusty Man. 20th is the 06 of Adam Ratliff. Finally coming back to Elko. Haven't seen this guy race since 2017 for the Big Late Model event. But the 2 car was back finally in competition. Fortunately, his home track of Rockford's being torn down after this year, unfortunately. But the 2 of Michael Bill, they're back. That is so sweet, and that was so cool to get the interview with Michael out there on August 19th. That was a fun interview. I'll cherish that one forever, and we'll do a few more together. I'm sure of it down the road, but I loved Michael. I loved his uniform. It was really cool. So 21st in points, Michael Bilderback. 22nd, the 75 of Joel Tyson in the 75 car. That's a toss-up, flip of a coin. I messaged him. I messaged Johnny about that. Haven't heard anything if the 75 will be there or not. But I will talk about what happened to him on the 19th. 23rd, yet to see Ty Fredrickson out there in the 36 late model of his dad's Dan Fredrickson car, but that'll be pretty sweet. 24th is the 42 of Ryan Camish. 25th in the 8 car Colin Stalker. 26th is the 14 of Cody King. 28th is the 32 of Ron Hanselton. 29th is the 22 of Kyle Hansen. And 28th, 29th, yeah, and then in 30 cars out here, or actually, check that, 29 cars actually, yeah, so 29 cars, the 72 of Doug Hinsel, so yeah, so that's 29 cars out there, pretty good stacked field in the points, and the 6 of Owen Giles and the 75 of Joel Tyson. This painfully kills me having to talk about this because I did not, that tribute race for Dwayne Burns is always a special one to me, just like it is for Scott Kinger's Memorial event for Thunder Cars and Dan Ryan. I haven't seen a bad wreck in any one of those or any bad moves until Dwayne Burns 40 tribute night, and I tell you, the 75 of Joel just squeakily cleared himself from, and just squeaked himself in front of that 6 of Owen Giles, and you saw the hood buckle on the 6 just a bit. That's a racing move, and that's done plenty of times with the old, with just the old front, just the old slide job maneuver right there, and just slightly just sticking your just trying to get space in between there, and it pinches the guy. That's racing right there. So then in turn one, do you seriously have to drive all the way deep, hit the car, and then scoot him out of the lane to go underneath him? That is true, but in some cases, that was not, because those two cars sat on the front row, and Joel was the pole sitter. In my lifetime, I've never seen Joel win a feature. I seen him only win a heat race, won a heat race back in 2012 when I was a sophomore in high school, and that was pretty awesome. And but that was not a cool move by the 6 of Owen Giles. I'm still steaming mad about that, and I'm so bummed that I have that on my YouTube channel, and I have to relive that memory for a long time. It's gonna kill me when I rewatch these later down the road, and even during the off season, because I go back and watch all my old race footage during the off season to see if I can improve, or see if I missed some information I can bring back to another video, or just watch it also too for the fun of it. Is what I probably is the most 99% of the time while I watch it. Other than that, I still try to change some stuff if I can, but other than that, I keep it the same. But I am never gonna change my attitude on how I felt that night about that 75 car being moved like that, because when that race was over, and this is off camera, but this happened, I turned my phone off and booked it right down to the garage area, and I did cry a little bit, or a good chunk, on the roof of that 75 car in the garage area. Joel and Donnie were gracious enough to feel my emotions. They knew I was bummed because I've been waiting for that car to finish good for the longest time. And they came up to me and they're like, hang in there, buddy, and it was all right. And I told Joel, I said, man, I was really hoping you were this is the best position I've ever seen you start a race. And I was looking forward to you to seeing it finish it like that. So that really, that's still tough. That's still kind of tough for me to talk about because it's still fresh in my mind pretty well. So I'm still holding that 6 car accountable. I've talked to Owen a few times on my channel. I congratulated him in 2018 winning Thunderstruck 93. That was a great race for him, biggest win of his career, and he won this one pretty dirty. And I will never lay back on him. I'm always going to keep that forever as Bad Boy Award for the 6th. That will always stay on that video. I'm never taking that off. But man, I hate that feeling of knowing that 75 car had a good shot to win for Joel. Man, I know that there's a lot of race fans out there that feel the same about their favorite driver, whether it be a local track or a NASCAR race. And it sticks with you, and it's a sucky feeling to have, especially if it just happened to you recently and you're still having maybe a tough time dealing with it. I feel your pain, man, so it sucks. Now, on the flip of the coin, the good news is that it's kind of a paying homage race tonight too. Now, during this time, 21 years ago, around this time, I was getting ready to get set up for the biggest race of my entire life. Before I went to the 2500 in 2016, a year before I made my YouTube channel in 2017. And I got to experience something really cool that I will never see again, unfortunately. I mean, it's still there, but it's not like it used to be in 2002. Milwaukee, which is this past few weeks, and if you saw the ARCA or the truck race, it was really cool. I didn't watch the trucks. I don't like stage racing, but I like the ARCA series. The ARCA was really fun to watch. But that's their state fair track. In Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the Milwaukee Mile is their state fair track. And in Minnesota, we had one, and it was the Minnesota State Fair Speedway. And it's where the grandstands is with the stage for their concert shows they have now, but the front stretch or the open access area that you walk around on for that main concourse area, that used to, and if you ever go there and you see these grassy hills that look in a circle with 2 split entrance and exits off to the side, that used to be a racetrack right there. And in 1977 to 2002, ASA would host one state fair race a year for Minnesota, and it was back in the day, it was the Amsoil 300, and I think they ran that up until 1989. In 1990 to 2002, it was called the Miller Lite 300, presented by Miller Lite Beer. And Miller is kind of a Minnesota brewing company, I think, or it's somewhere around the Midwest area Miller Lite's brewed at. I don't remember what state, but maybe it's brewed in Minnesota as well too. Anywho, it's called the Miller Lite 300, and it was huge, biggest race, 300 laps. I didn't know about that until afterwards and everything, and but I was there when I was 6 years old in 2002 when I saw Gary Santamont win his first race there, and I thought that was pretty sweet. And I then later found out it took him 17 years to try to win that thing, like it did for Darrell Waltrip trying to win the Daytona 500 until he got that win in 1989. So on September 2nd of 2002, I was there, and then the fair board going into 2002, 2003, they said that they were going to demolish the main grandstands. It was built back in 1909. It's the oldest grandstands that I've ever seen in my life, ever sat, and never will sit in my life. And they were going to redo that. The track was paved in 1964, only once. So in 2002, when I saw this track, it looked like Talladega and Daytona back before they both did the repave jobs in 2007. Or 2006, Talladega got their repave. So in 2006, and Daytona got theirs in 2011. Before those repave jobs happened, if you look at Daytona and Talladega back in 2004, if you go to YouTube, Talladega and Daytona 2004, whether it be for the Daytona Pepsi, Aaron's 499, or the EA Sports 500, if you watch one of those races or you watch all four of them, you'll see what I'm talking about with the track sealer being put down. It looked like that. And I was like, man, this track is pretty in rough shape, but it looks pretty cool and worn out. I like an old worn out track. It reminded me of Rockingham back in the day in 2002 and 2004 for how tough it was and everything. It was pretty cool to look at and everything. And the cars kind of hopped into turn one a little bit because there was a tunnel that was underneath there. So turn one was their tunnel turn. So the ASA cars that they go in turn one, they bobbled a bit, which was really cool. That was unique to that track. There was not a whole lot of banking on there. That's races on YouTube. If you can YouTube the Miller Lite 300 2002. I watch it every Monday on Labor Day every year since I've been doing that since 2010. So it's pretty awesome. And but that race was this day, September 2nd of 2002, and the fair board going into 2003 said we're going to repave the track and redo the grandstands. That was their first that was their first decision that was going to be made, and that sounded pretty cool. I remember my grandfather talking to me about that in the fall of 2002, and then I didn't really hear anything about it. And then I remember either my grandfather or my dad. I found it out from one of them. I think it might have been my grandfather when I hung out with him in 2003 when we went to Elko for a race. And a lot of fans were saying that the fair board decided not to do the repave job or redo the grandstands. What they decided to do was there's a stage there. And the stage was for where they would do the driver introductions. And then they had the victory lane there, close proximity to the stage. And it was really cool. And they would ring the victory bell, which was really cool. And that was pretty sweet. The fair board decided for that stage because they also do live concert shows there. When the track was still there, they had Kenny. They had Garth Brooks there. They had Johnny Cash there. And they had Ringo Starr appearance one time. And then they had a boatload of others. But the track would still be there, but the stage was there too. So not only would they host the Labor Day race, but they would also have concerts like before the race day. So they would just have concerts, and then they would have the race for Labor Day Monday, which was really cool. So they would share it. Well, instead of sharing the place, the fair board said, how about this demolish the track bit by bit, keep the stage and do live concert entertainment shows? Everybody on the board said, sounds good to me, buddy. And they got rid of the track. But I haven't been to a track, or any track for that matter, for a race for 21 years until today. So I'm really honored to have that. This is why I have all the ASA stuff there. I got the program book from the State Fair Trek, which you saw in that YouTube video that I shot at the fair last year, which was really, really cool, and did that. But this was that day 21 years ago, so I'm paying history homage to the State Fair today, but also get to go to Elko. So it's past, so it's kind of cool going through history here a little bit for racing. So it's the past, the present, and the future today for me through ASA and that. And speaking of ASA, 2003, 20 years ago, yesterday on September 1st was the first race that Elko Speedway was able to host the Labor Day event after the State Fair track was demolished. They brought the ASA cars to Elko yesterday on September 1st of 2003. I watched that race, and it was cool to see Dick Trickle and Rich Bickle side by side with each other like this on the track there, and then they both got taken out different times, but there was 33 cars that day for 400 laps, which was really, really cool. And Mike Garvey wound up winning that thing, so that was pretty awesome. So that was his first win at Elko Speedway. They came to Elko in 2002 when the ASA Midwest or the ASA State Fair track was still there, and ASA came to Elko. So that was the only time that both those tracks shared one season together, was in 2002. And I was fortunate enough to go to both of them. I got pictures of both those races. There's a picture over here, and the State Fair picture's over here off to the side. It's by my bed, which is really cool. And so that means the world to me that I was able to go to both. I was 6 years old and 7, and remember like it was yesterday, so it's pretty awesome. But I'm looking forward to going to Elko. They'll go 7 times this year. I'll go two more in September here to the 23rd, and then the 30th to close out the season for the championship. But then I'm not done yet. I got one more bullet left in my racing chamber. I got to go to Oktoberfest again at La Crosse Speedway. So be a good time. I'll bring you, of course, you guys will be along with me. And it's going to be a good show tonight, so we'll see what happens on September 2nd of 2023.